Let's be real. Being a man in today's world is a different kind of challenge. The rules are changing faster than ever, and one wrong move can make or break a relationship. But listen up. If you think doing whatever it takes to please a woman will get you the respect and connection you want, it's time to rethink your approach. Here's the hard truth. Many men are making critical mistakes with women that end up costing them everything. You've probably heard things like, be a nice guy, do whatever she wants, or sacrifice to keep her happy. But what if I told you that's the quickest way to lose your self-respect, and maybe even your relationship? Yes, some things might be popular advice, but they're traps. And once you fall in, it's hard to climb back out. If you're ready to hear it, we're about to dive into 5 things a man should never do with a woman. And these aren't just any 5 things, they're deal breakers. The real stuff that determines whether a woman sees you as a leader or a doormat. This isn't about learning how to manipulate or outsmart someone. No, it's about staying true to yourself and holding your ground. This isn't a soft topic, and it's not going to be comfortable to hear. But if you're tired of repeating the same mistakes and ending up frustrated, this is for you. Sometimes, respecting yourself means drawing hard lines, not only for her sake, but for yours. Because here's the deal, if you don't stand up for yourself, who will? So buckle up. This is about learning the boundaries every man needs to set, the moments he has to say no, and the actions he should absolutely avoid no matter what she says. Ready to hear what they are? Let's get into it. 1. Never sacrifice your self-respect. If there's one thing a man should never give up in any relationship, it's his self-respect. The moment you start bending your own values, needs, or boundaries just to make her happy, you're on dangerous ground. When a woman sees you sacrificing your self-respect to please her, it sends a message that you don't value yourself. And if you don't, why should she? Respect is the foundation of attraction. When you compromise it, you're not just losing respect in her eyes, you're losing it in your own. It's a slippery slope, and once you start going down that path, it's hard to climb back up. So, if you're thinking, I'll just give in this once, think again. Small sacrifices might seem harmless, but they add up fast. The more you give away, the more she expects you to keep giving. Example, imagine this scenario. You've been planning a guy's night for weeks, something you look forward to. She, on the other hand, decides last minute that she'd rather you stay in with her. Now, you don't want to let her down, but this isn't the first time she's asked you to cancel your plans to fit hers. In the past, you've said yes to avoid conflict, thinking it's no big deal. But each time you cancel for her, it sends a message. Your needs can wait. Instead, try saying this. I've had these plans for a while, and it's important for me to stick to them. I'll see you tomorrow. Respectfully standing your ground isn't selfish. It's essential. When you do this, you're setting a boundary that says, I value myself and my commitments. She may not like it at first, but if she respects you, she'll understand. Remember, a relationship that demands your self-respect is never worth it. A woman who values you will appreciate a man who respects himself enough to set limits. It's not about always getting your way, but about not losing yourself to please someone else. In the long run, sticking to your values will attract a woman who respects them, and that's what you truly want. 2. Don't tolerate disrespect. Respect isn't just important, it's everything. If a woman shows you disrespect in big ways or small, it's a red flag that you should never ignore. When you let disrespect slide, you're telling her, and yourself, that you're okay with being treated poorly. But here's the truth. The longer you accept disrespect, the harder it becomes to regain your footing in the relationship. Disrespect can come in many forms. It might be dismissive comments, criticism in front of others, or even subtle jabs at your choices or appearance. Some men think they should just brush it off or that it's no big deal, but that's a mistake. Over time, tolerating these small acts of disrespect chips away at your confidence and sense of self. And here's the thing. Once a woman realizes she can disrespect you without consequences, it usually only gets worse. Example, let's say you're out with her and some friends, and she makes a joke at your expense, something that feels humiliating. Instead of laughing along and pretending it doesn't bother you, address it. Later, in private, say something like, when you joked about me tonight, it felt disrespectful. I want to be with someone who respects me, especially around others. This lets her know that your respect is non-negotiable. It's important to note, asking for respect isn't about being overly sensitive or controlling her behavior. It's about having the courage to call out actions that don't align with the kind of treatment you expect. If she brushes it off or refuses to acknowledge it, that's a major sign that she doesn't value you in the way you deserve. A relationship built on respect is one where both people uplift and honor each other, even in difficult moments. Don't be afraid to walk away if disrespect becomes a pattern. Holding out for respect isn't weakness, it's strength. You deserve someone who values you and treats you well. Stand firm and remember that tolerating disrespect once opens the door to much more. In a healthy relationship, respect isn't optional. It's the standard. 3. Avoid trying to fix her problems. Listen up, guys. Stop trying to be her savior. This might sound harsh, but it's the truth. You're not her therapist, her fixer, or her emotional crutch. If you constantly try to solve her problems, you're not helping her, and you're definitely not helping yourself. Here's the thing. Women, just like men, face struggles and challenges. And while it's natural to want to help, the reality is that trying to fix everything can make things worse. First, it can come off as though you don't trust her ability to handle her own life. It might seem like you think she's helpless or weak, and that's not a good look, no matter how much you care. Second, when you keep inserting yourself into every issue, you start creating a dynamic where she relies on you to fix her. This is not a balanced relationship. Instead of growing together, it turns into a situation where you're always carrying the weight of her problems. The real problem is, the more you take on, the more she'll expect you to handle it, and that's a recipe for burnout. And let's be honest, how often do we, as men, feel like we can't even get our own stuff straight? It's hard enough trying to juggle your career, personal life, and everything else. When you're constantly involved in fixing someone else's emotional mess, you lose sight of your own needs and well-being. This isn't selfishness, it's common sense. You have to maintain your balance too. At the end of the day, relationships aren't about being someone's personal fixer. They're about sharing life together. Yes, you can offer support and listen, but don't get caught up in the idea that you have to provide all the answers. Sometimes, all she needs is someone to listen without trying to immediately solve things. If she asks for advice, offer it. But don't jump in assuming she needs you to be the solution to everything. You'll be much better off focusing on building a healthy relationship where both of you are strong individuals, not one where you're just cleaning up the mess. Avoid trying to fix her problems and instead encourage her to find her own solutions. It'll make both of you more confident and ultimately more connected. 4. Don't overextend yourself financially. It's time for some tough love, guys. Stop thinking that spending money will fix your relationship or make you more appealing to her. Here's the cold, hard truth. Constantly overextending yourself financially is a sign of insecurity, not strength. If you're out here dropping cash on fancy dinners, expensive gifts, or trying to outdo yourself just to keep up, you're setting yourself up for failure. This is a big one that a lot of men get wrong. Many guys think that the bigger the gesture, the more she'll appreciate them. But let me tell you, no amount of money is going to make a woman respect you or want you more if you're using it to mask a lack of self-worth or confidence. Relationships built on material things are shallow, and eventually, that foundation will crack. The reality is that if you're constantly spending to keep her happy, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. It's time to wake up, fellas. You're not a walking wallet. The way you manage your finances says a lot about your priorities. If you're consistently overspending, living beyond your means, or trying to impress her with things that don't matter, you're sending a message that you don't have control over your life. And let's face it, no woman wants a man who can't manage his own finances. She wants someone who is stable, responsible, and focused on long-term goals, not a guy who's living paycheck to paycheck just to maintain an image. The truth is, if she's with you for your money, it's only a matter of time before she moves on. The right woman will respect you for who you are, not how much you can buy her. If you're serious about building a strong, lasting relationship, focus on your personal growth, your goals, and your financial independence. Stop trying to buy her affection. Show her that you can lead, provide stability, and have your life together without needing to flaunt wealth. So wake up, guys. Learn how to manage your finances and set boundaries with your spending. If you think impressing her with money is going to make her stay, you're sadly mistaken. What really matters is the man you are, not the amount of cash you can throw around. 5. Stop seeking her approval. Here's the thing, guys. If you're constantly seeking her approval, you're not leading the relationship. You're letting her lead you, and that's a problem. Real talk. A man who seeks constant validation from a woman is a man who's lost his own sense of self. This might be hard to hear, but it's the truth. Men, it's time to wake up. If you're living your life based on what you think she'll approve of, you're not living for yourself. You're living for her. And that's dangerous. The problem with seeking constant approval is that it leaves you stuck in a cycle of trying to please her, even when it means ignoring your own needs and desires. Eventually, this creates a toxic dynamic where you're always second-guessing your decisions, trying to mold yourself into someone you think she wants instead of staying true to who you really are. It's one of the biggest traps you can fall into. You start making decisions based on her reactions, and every little thing you do, you ask, what will she think? This isn't healthy for you, and it certainly isn't healthy for the relationship. It's exhausting, and ultimately, it's disrespectful to both you and her. A woman who respects you will be drawn to the man you are, not the man you try to be for her. Here's a hard pill to swallow. Your value isn't tied to her opinion of you. It never should be. You're not here to win her approval every day. You're here to lead your own life, be confident in your choices, and not be swayed by every little thing she says or thinks. A strong man doesn't wait around for approval. He makes decisions based on what he knows is best for his life and the relationship, without constantly needing validation. You need to stop basing your self-worth on how she reacts to you. If you're constantly seeking approval, you'll never be happy or fulfilled. The right woman will respect your independence, your goals, and your ability to stand firm in your beliefs. She'll appreciate you for the man you are, not the man you've molded yourself into just to win her favor. So wake up and stop chasing approval. You don't need it. What you need is self-respect, confidence, and the ability to be the man you truly are. That's how you build a relationship that's strong, lasting, and built on mutual respect. Here's the truth. If you're a man who's constantly bending over backward for approval, sacrificing your values, or trying to fix her, you're not building a relationship. You're building a prison for yourself. You don't need to be anyone but yourself. If she can't respect that, then maybe it's time to walk away. It's not about being heartless. It's about being true to who you are. Comment below and share your experiences. What's your story? I'll personally reach out to connect with you because men need to have these conversations. We need to wake up and stand firm.